My name is Liam Parker, 24 years old, and the day my father died was the day everything I knew about family shattered. The funeral was held on a cold Sunday morning in Connecticut. A gentle layer of snow covered the cemetery, giving everything a quiet, peaceful look. But my heart was anything but peaceful. My father, Michael Parker, was the strongest man I knew, a firefighter who spent half of his life saving others. A man who deserved a long life, a happy retirement, and a big family around his table. Instead, he died in a car accident caused by a drunk driver. I stood beside his casket, trying to hold myself together. My sister, Hannah, held my arm tightly. She was 18, still in high school, still too young to face this kind of loss. And then there was her, my stepmom, Veronica. She arrived late, wearing a long black coat, oversized sunglasses, and red lipstick, like she was attending a movie premiere, not her husband's funeral. She walked straight to the casket, didn't even look at us, and said in her smooth, cold voice, "I suppose this is how life works. People leave." Who says that? At a funeral, for her own husband. I stared at her, but she didn't meet my eyes. She just stood there, placing her gloved hand dramatically on the casket, as if she was posing for a photo. Moments later, she looked around and added, "Let's not drag this too long. I'm freezing." Hannah whispered to me, "Dad deserved better than her." I squeezed her hand. She was right. We both knew it. Dad had married Veronica 3 years ago, a decision no one understood. She was younger, mysterious, charming in a dangerous way. Dad said he made him feel alive, but we always felt something was off. Too many lies, too many secrets, too much control. And now, Dad was gone, and the real nightmare was about to begin. The morning after the funeral, I woke up early. I wanted to make breakfast for Hannah, keep things normal. But when I walked down the stairs, I froze. Our house, the same house Dad had worked 20 years to build, suddenly looked different. Furniture moved, pictures gone, Dad's tools removed from the hallway, Mom's old vase missing, family portraits replaced. And there she was, Veronica, sitting on Dad's favorite chair with a cup of coffee and a stack of papers. She didn't even turn to look at me when she said, "Good morning, Liam. This is my house now." I blinked. "Excuse me?" She slowly turned her head, lifting one eyebrow. "Your father left everything to me. The house, the cars, the savings, everything. You and Hannah are, what do you call it? Guests. Guests in our own home." My jaw tightened. Dad would never leave us with nothing. She gave a small laugh, cold and sharp. "He signed the papers 3 months ago. It's all legal. I'll show you the will." I didn't believe her. Dad wasn't perfect, but he would never abandon his kids. I stepped closer. "Where is his original will?" She shrugged. "Burned. Irrelevant. He updated everything, Liam. I guess he trusted me more than he trusted you." I clenched my fists. I wanted to scream, to throw the papers out of her hands, to tell her she was lying, manipulating, twisting Dad's memory. But instead, I said, "Where is Hannah?" She smirked. "Upstairs, crying, like she always does." I walked past her and went upstairs to find my sister. But what I didn't know was that Veronica had only just started. I found Hannah in her room, sitting on the edge of the bed holding a framed photo of Dad. "Dad, she said we can't use Dad's room anymore." "What?" "She locked the door. She said it's going to be her private meditation space." I felt my blood boiling. Dad's room, his smell, his clothes, his memories, now locked away behind a door that shouldn't belong to her. I grabbed the doorknob of Dad's room and twisted it. Locked. "Veronica!" I shouted. She appeared at the top of the stairs, calm and collected. "What is it now?" I pointed at the door. "Open it." She shook her head. "No, this room is mine now. Everything in this house is mine. And you two," she pointed at me and Hannah, "should start respecting my rules." I stepped forward. "You can't do this. Dad wouldn't want this." She smirked. "Your father isn't here anymore." Hannah grabbed my arm, whispering, "Let it go for now, please." I stepped back because I had to think, not react. Not yet. That night, after Hannah fell asleep, I sat in the living room with Dad's old photo album. I needed strength, a reminder that he was real, that he loved us. As I flipped through the pages, I heard footsteps behind me. Veronica. She walked slowly, like a cat approaching a mouse. "You know, Liam, your father always worried about you." I didn't look at her. She continued, "He said you were too emotional, too attached, too weak." I finally turned. "Don't talk about my father." She stepped closer. "He trusted me, not you. That's why he made me the owner of everything. Maybe if you had been a better son." I stood up suddenly and she stepped back. "Stop lying." My voice shook with anger. "You think you can rewrite his memory just because he's not here to defend himself?" She crossed her arms. "Believe what you want, but you're living under my roof now. And if you can't follow the rules," she leaned forward, whispering the words, "I can throw you both out." My heart dropped. Throw us out? Where would Hannah go? Where would I go? I stared at her. She smirked like she enjoyed my fear. "Good night, Liam." She walked away, clicking her heels on the wooden floor like a victory march. I sat back down, shaking. And that's when I made a silent promise. I will find the truth, no matter what she's hiding, no matter what it takes. 3 days passed. 3 days of rules, 3 days of disrespect, 3 days of watching Veronica erase Dad from the house. She threw away his shoes, donated his clothes without asking, removed his wedding ring from the nightstand, and replaced every photo of Dad with pictures of herself. But she made one mistake. A huge mistake. While she was out shopping, I checked the attic for Dad's things. Maybe she hadn't reached there yet. And I was right. Boxes, old journals, family albums, Dad's firefighter helmet, and then something strange. A small wooden box with Dad's handwriting. "For Liam, only if something happens to me." My heart pounded. Hands shaking, I opened the box. Inside was a stack of papers, envelopes, receipts, and a letter. I unfolded it carefully. My father had written, "Liam, if you're reading this, it means I'm gone. And there is something you must know. I made a mistake, a terrible one. Veronica is not who she pretends to be." I froze. I kept reading. 3 months ago, she tried to make me sign documents I didn't understand. She said it was for insurance, but I didn't trust her. I refused. But she was furious. And since then, things changed. My breathing became shallow. I fear she's planning something. Protect Hannah, and whatever you do, do not trust her. The letter slipped from my fingers. Dad knew. He knew she was dangerous. He tried to warn us. My hand shook as I reached for the rest of the papers, and what I found next nearly made my heart stop. Bank statements, account transfers, documents with forged signatures, receipts in Veronica's name, and worst of all, a copy of Dad's original will, the real one. In it, the house was supposed to go to 50% Liam, 50% Hannah, not Veronica.
My chest burned with anger and shock. Dad had been telling the truth. Veronica had lied, manipulated, stolen. And suddenly, a noise behind me. A sharp creak. I turned. Veronica was standing at the attic door. Her eyes locked on the letter in my hand. Her voice cold as ice. "What are you doing?"
I stood frozen in the attic, Dad's letter still in my hand. Veronica's eyes were burning with fury, the kind that could set the whole house on fire. She stepped forward, slowly, dangerously. "Give me that letter." Her voice wasn't loud, it wasn't screaming. It was worse. Cold, control-obsessed, calculated. I folded the letter and placed it behind my back. "No." Her jaw tightened. "I said, give it to me." I held her stare. "You lied to us, Veronica. You forged Dad's signature. This house isn't yours. None of it is." She took another step. "You don't know what you're talking about." I pointed at the documents scattered across the attic floor. "These papers say otherwise. Dad was scared of you. He knew you were manipulating him." Her face twisted for a second, then she regained composure. "Michael didn't understand finances. I helped him, that's all." I raised the letter. "He wrote this in his own handwriting. He didn't trust you." She lunged forward, trying to snatch the letter from me. I stepped back, avoiding her grip, and that's when she snapped. "You want the truth, Liam? Your father was weak. I took care of everything. And this house? I deserve it." I could feel my pulse racing. Then I said the words she wasn't ready for. "I'm taking all of this to the police." Her face froze. For the first time since I'd known her, she looked scared. Really scared. That night felt longer than any night of my life. I locked the attic door behind me and went straight to Hannah's room. She opened it, eyes tired and swollen. "Liam, what's happening?" I showed her the letter. As she read Dad's words, she broke down, falling into my chest. "Dad tried to warn us. He knew she was dangerous." I held her close. "We're going to fix this, I promise." But fixing it wouldn't be easy. Veronica had power, connections, manipulative charm, a talent for pretending to be the victim. And I knew she wasn't going to give up without a fight. Not at all. Morning came. Hannah and I walked downstairs, ready to avoid Veronica as much as possible. But she was waiting, standing in the living room holding 2 suitcases. Ours. "You're both leaving." Hannah gasped. I stepped forward. "You can't kick us out. This is our home." She smiled coldly. "Not anymore. I talked to my lawyer last night. Since your father left everything to me, I am legally allowed to evict you." I clenched my jaw. "Dad didn't leave you anything. We have the real will." Her smile vanished. "You think anyone will believe you? You're just a jobless kid. And your sister is a minor. I am the widow, the grieving wife. Everyone will believe me." Hannah looked terrified, but I placed a hand on her shoulder. "We're not leaving." She narrowed her eyes. "Then I'll call the police right now." She grabbed her phone, dialed. "Hello, yes, I need officers immediately. 2 adults are refusing to leave my property." My heart dropped. This was going to get ugly. Within 20 minutes, 2 officers arrived. Veronica instantly switched into her sweet widow persona, tears, trembling voice, the whole performance. "My stepchildren, they're threatening me. I'm scared. They won't leave my house." I stepped forward. "Officers, please. This house legally belongs to me and my sister. We have our father's original will." One officer asked gently, "Do you have the document?" I nodded, but when I reached into my backpack, it wasn't there. My heart stopped. I unzipped every pocket, checked every corner. Gone. Hannah whispered, "Liam, where is it?" And suddenly, I realized Veronica must have taken it last night, when we were sleeping. She must have found it and taken it. I looked at her. She smiled cruelly from behind the officers. "He's lying, officers. He couldn't accept that his father trusted me." The officers sighed.
Without proof, we can't force her to let you stay. Hannah grabbed my arm, panicking. I swallowed the lump in my throat. Can we at least get our things? Veronica shrugged. 5 minutes. We went upstairs, but as soon as we started packing, I looked at Hannah. We're not giving up. We'll get the will back. She can't hide it forever. We took 2 backpacks and left. But as we walked out, Veronica stood in the doorway and said, 3 weeks, kids. That's all I need. Her words scared me. Why 3 weeks? What was she planning? I didn't know, but I was about to find out. We stayed with my friend Ethan for a few days. It felt humiliating, kicked out of our own home. But that humiliation turned into motivation. I went to Dad's old lawyer, Mr. Jennings, a man Dad trusted deeply. He looked at us with sadness. Your father loved you both more than anything. I know he didn't leave the house to Veronica. Something's really wrong here. I nodded. She stole the will. I know she did. He leaned closer. Do you know about the life insurance policy? I frowned. What policy? He sighed. Your father increased his insurance significantly 7 months ago. But 3 months ago, Veronica tried to change the beneficiary to her name. My eyes widened. Did she succeed? He shook his head. No, your father refused. He insisted the money should go to you and Hannah. My heart started pounding. So Dad had protected us. But Veronica, she had motive. She had anger. She had desperation. And suddenly, everything made sense. Mr. Jennings handed me a file. Inside were police reports, accident details, witness statements. And then I saw something strange. The drunk driver who hit Dad had no prior record, no history of drinking. He was a clean, quiet accountant. But on the day of the accident, he had consumed enough alcohol to knock out a grown man. Something felt off. Very off. I looked at the lawyer. Are you saying Dad's accident wasn't an accident? He didn't answer, but the silence was enough. Chills ran down my spine. Had Veronica orchestrated it? Was 3 weeks the time she needed to finalize something? Insurance? Property transfer? Bank accounts? We needed proof, and fast. That night, I made a decision, a dangerous one. I was going back into the house. I needed the will, I needed the documents, I needed the truth. At midnight, I walked through the backyard, climbing over the fence. Hannah waited outside with Ethan in the car. I tried the back door, locked. But the attic window? Still open. Just like the night I came up here. I climbed through, landing quietly on the wooden floor. The attic was dark, except for a faint light coming from below. I moved slowly, quietly. As I reached Dad's box, I started searching again. Not there. Not in the drawers. Not in the shelves. Then I heard it. A whisper. A voice from downstairs. Veronica, on the phone. I leaned closer to the vent to listen. Yes, 3 weeks. Once the insurance clears, I'll sell the house. The kids won't be a problem. My stomach twisted. She continued. No, Michael didn't sign. I forged what I needed. Don't worry. Everything will be finished soon. My heart pounded violently. Insurance, forgery, property sale, and then, yes, the accident worked out perfectly. Sometimes people just get lucky and die at the right time. My blood ran cold. She said it. She said it out loud. Dad's death wasn't an accident. It was planned. I climbed down from the attic and walked to Dad's room, now Veronica's meditation space. I used a butter knife to force the lock. The room was dark, lit only by moonlight. Dad's furniture was gone. His pictures gone. But under the carpet, I found something. A small, rectangular bump. I pulled back the carpet. A hidden safe. Dad always used the same code. Hannah's birthday. I entered it. Click. The safe opened. Inside, the original will, Dad's real signature sheets, bank transfers proving she stole money, insurance documents, and a USB drive labeled Truth. I grabbed everything, but as I turned to leave, the lights flicked on. Veronica stood in the doorway, her makeup smeared, her hair messy, her breathing heavy, a nightmare in human form. "Put it back." She stepped closer. "You don't know what you're doing, Liam." I held up the papers. "I know you killed my father." Her face twitched. Then she laughed, a chilling, unhinged laugh. "Your father was weak. He was in my way. And you two, you're nothing without him." She lunged at me. I dodged, ran. She grabbed my jacket. We fell to the floor. She screamed, "Give me the documents!" I shoved her off and ran downstairs. She grabbed a vase and threw it. It shattered inches from my head. I ran out the back door. Hannah and Ethan saw me sprinting towards them. "Go drive!" And we disappeared into the night. Documents in hand. Truth finally uncovered. The next morning, we went straight to the police with the will, the forged documents, the insurance forms, and the USB